You're manifesting all wrong, and the worst part? You don't even know it. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. You study, you visualize, you affirm, you feel. You do everything the masters teach, but nothing truly changes. And then comes that devastating feeling that maybe you are the problem. Maybe you don't have enough faith. Maybe your energy is blocked. Maybe you don't deserve it. Let me tell you something that's going to completely shift your perspective. You're not the problem. You're not lazy. You don't lack faith. You're not doing it wrong in any obvious way. The problem is invisible. It's quantum errors you're making without realizing, and they're undoing your manifestation at the exact moment it's about to collapse into reality. Think about it. You manifest something with certainty. You feel the frequency. You declare it. You collapse the intention into the quantum field. And then, without meaning to, without knowing it, you do something that reverses the collapse. I'm not talking about obvious negative thinking. I'm not talking about surface-level doubt. I'm talking about invisible quantum mechanics that keep you in an eternal loop, manifesting and undoing, creating and destroying, collapsing and reversing, and you don't even notice you're doing it, because these mistakes seem harmless. They seem normal even. Everyone makes them. But in the quantum field, each of these errors is a vote against yourself, and the field doesn't respond to your intentions. It responds to your observation patterns, to your real identity, to what you do, not what you want, so you can visualize abundance for 10 minutes. But if you make one of these 5 mistakes during the rest of the day, the field completely ignores your visualization and responds to the error instead. Every single time. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly what these 5 invisible errors are. And more importantly, you'll understand why nothing was working until now. Not because you're incapable, not because manifestation doesn't work, but because you were creating with one hand and destroying with the other. And when you fix this, when you stop quantum sabotaging your own manifestation, you'll finally understand the power you've always had. The first mistake is the most common of all, and you probably did it today. You manifest something, and then you test to see if it's working. Seems harmless, right? But here's what actually happens in the quantum field when you do this. This is the error that destroys your manifestation without you realizing it. The problem isn't with your visualization technique. It's not with your affirmations. It's not with the intensity of your intention. The problem is what happens after. Think about it. You spent 10 minutes manifesting abundance. You felt the emotion. You visualized. You declared. You collapsed the intention into the quantum field. Up to here, everything's perfect. Then you wake up the next day. First thing you do? Grab your phone, open your banking app, check the balance. And when you see nothing's changed, what happens in your chest? That feeling of, it's not working. That tightness. That small but constant disappointment. And it's that exact moment that destroys everything. Because when you test if it's working, you're creating a second act of observation. And that second act? It's loaded with doubt. Quantum physics is crystal clear about this. The observer effect doesn't just work when you manifest, it works all the time. Every time you observe something, you're collapsing possibilities into reality. So let's understand the real mechanics here. When you manifest with certainty, you're collapsing the desired reality. The quantum field responds, the frequency shifts, synchronicities start aligning. But when you test with doubt, you're making a new observation. And that new observation? It collapses the opposite reality. It's like voting yes during 5 minutes of manifestation, and then voting no during the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of your day. Guess which vote wins? The quantum field responds to the dominant vote, not the initial one. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you manifested a relationship. You felt the connection. You visualized the person. You anchored it in your body. You collapsed the frequency. Then a day goes by, 2 days, 3 days, and you start checking your phone every 20 minutes. You go on the person's Instagram, you look for signs, you analyze every detail. Every time you do this, you know what you're transmitting to the quantum field? It hasn't happened yet, it's still missing. I need to check if it's coming. Each check is a vote of doubt, and the quantum field reads that as, she doesn't believe it's coming, so I don't need to collapse that reality. The most ironic thing about manifestation is this. You undo exactly what you tried to create. Not from lack of effort, not from lack of technique, but from not understanding that observation with doubt is just as powerful as observation with certainty. The difference? One creates, the other destroys. Think about a seed. You plant it, you water it, you take care of it. Everything's good. Then the next day, you dig it up to see if it's growing. The next day, you dig it up again, and again, and again. What happens to the plant? It dies. Not because you didn't care for it, but because you didn't let the process happen. Manifestation works the same way. The quantum field needs consistency of frequency. It needs you to maintain the certain observation, not alternate between certainty and doubt every 12 hours. And look, I totally get why we do this. Our brain was programmed to seek evidence, to confirm, to validate. But in the quantum field, this search for evidence before the complete collapse is what prevents the collapse from happening. It's like being stuck in an eternal loop. You manifest, test, get doubtful, undo. Then you manifest again, test again, doubt again. The field never gets a chance to solidify the new reality because you keep resetting the process daily. And then months pass, years, and you keep manifesting intensely, but nothing truly changes. It's not because manifestation doesn't work. It's because you're creating and destroying at the same time. Every observation is a creative act. It's not passive. It's not neutral. When you look at your bank account expecting to see change but fearing you'll see nothing, you're collapsing exactly what you fear. The absence, the lack, the not yet. And the field responds, okay, you want not yet? Here's not yet. The solution isn't to stop looking at your bank account. It's not to pretend it doesn't exist. The solution is to change the quality of the observation. If you're going to observe, observe with certainty. Observe knowing the process is in motion. Observe with the frequency of someone who already knows it's coming. But if you can't do that, then don't observe, don't test, don't check. Let the field work without interference. Because every time you interfere with doubt, you're voting against yourself. And the quantum field? It's democratic. It counts all the votes and responds to the final result. Now let's move to the second mistake. And this one's sneaky, because it seems harmless. It even seems positive. But it's draining your quantum energy without you realizing it. You had an insight, a deep decision, an internal shift. You felt that clarity, that certainty that you're finally going to change everything. And the first thing you do, you tell someone. And this is the error that destroys everything. Telling others before you've actually done it. You post on social media. You text your friend group. You call your family. I've decided I'm going to quit everything and start my own business. I'm moving to another country. I'm going to transform my financial life. And the moment you speak it, you even feel some relief, some validation, a sense that you've already taken the first step. But here's the problem. You haven't. You just spent the energy that should have gone into action. Manifestation starts as concentrated energy in your personal field. Think of it as a ball of pure energy, dense, compressed, ready to collapse into physical matter. When you share before anchoring that energy in real action, in concrete decision and tangible change, the energy disperses. It goes into the collective field. It goes into conversation. It goes into thin air. And the quantum field responds to energy density. Not vague intention. Concentrated energy in silence. Strong, fast collapse. Dispersed energy in 1,000 conversations. Weak collapse. Or no collapse at all. Let me give you a real example. You decide to change careers. Finally, after months of thinking about it, total excitement, that feeling of freedom, then you tell 10 people. Each one has an opinion. Each one asks questions. Each one gives advice. 3 weeks later, nothing's changed. You're still in the same place, same routine, same life. What happened? The energy that should have gone into your resume, into research, into the first concrete action, all went into conversation. Your brain received dopamine from social validation and interpreted it as if you'd already accomplished something. The quantum field registered. She already received emotional reward. I don't need to collapse physical reality. And more, when you share prematurely, you're opening your energy to the collective field. And you know what comes with that? Other people's doubt, skepticism, subtle envy, unconscious projections. People don't do this out of malice, but everyone has their own limitations, fears, beliefs. And when you expose your intention before it's anchored, those frequencies stick to you. They contaminate your field. Suddenly that certainty you had starts wavering. That clarity gets confused, not because your vision was wrong, but because you absorbed external frequencies that weren't yours. There's a reason why all the masters talk about this. Neville Goddard said, "Don't tell your dreams to fools." Not because people are bad, but because energy needs to be compressed before it explodes into manifestation. Think about a rocket. Before takeoff, the fuel is compressed, contained, accumulated. If you release the fuel too early, no takeoff, just smoke. Your manifestation works the same way. Silence is compression. Secrecy is containment. And when the pressure gets high enough, boom, inevitable collapse into physical reality. But if you release all the pressure in conversation, in posts, in external validation, there's no energy left for real collapse. Another example. You had a brilliant idea for your business. You felt that eureka moment. First thing, you posted on social media, wrote a long caption, got 50 likes, 10 comments, people praising you. What did that feel like? Satisfaction, accomplishment, dopamine. Your brain marked, mission accomplished. But the idea never left the drawing board, because the emotional reward came from the post, not the execution. And the quantum field can't tell the difference, it just registers. Energy was released, cycle complete. Look, I'm not saying never share anything. I'm saying share after you anchor, after the first concrete action, after the irreversible decision, after the physical commitment to the new reality. Then yes, share, celebrate, inspire, but while the energy is still forming, while the intention is still fragile, while the quantum field is still collapsing, secrecy is power. Silence is manifestation in motion. Containment is the fuel you're going to need when reality actually starts shifting, because manifestation isn't about talking, it's about being. And while you're telling everyone who you're going to be, you're wasting the energy of becoming. The third error blocking your manifestation is inconsistency of focus, and this one's subtle, because you don't even notice you're doing it. You want financial abundance, you visualize, you feel, you declare. Monday, total focus on money. Then Wednesday comes, and you're manifesting a relationship because you saw an inspiring post, because you felt lonely, because it seemed urgent. Saturday, now it's life purpose, mission, legacy, and at the end of the month, nothing collapsed. Not the money, not the relationship, not the clarity of purpose. Why? Because the quantum field responds to sustained observation, not passing intentions. Let me explain the real mechanics here. In quantum physics, there's a concept called superposition. A quantum particle exists in all possibilities at the same time. It can be in multiple places, multiple states, multiple realities, simultaneously. But it only collapses into one fixed reality when it's consistently observed. Sustained observation equals collapse. Inconsistent observation equals permanent superposition. All possibilities exist, but none become real. And that's exactly what happens when you change intention every week. The quantum field keeps all your intentions in superposition, all existing as possibility, none collapsing into physical matter. Think about it. You want abundance, but also want a relationship, but also want success in your current career, but also want to travel the world, but also want to build a family, but also want total freedom. The quantum field looks at this and asks, which of these realities do I collapse? And the answer? None. Because none received enough attention. None received sustained observation long enough to solidify. Let me give you a very concrete example. You want to change careers. You spend a whole week focused on it. You research. You plan. You feel the new frequency. Then someone offers you a promotion at your current job. And suddenly, your focus shifts. Now it's success in the career you already have. 2 weeks later, you see a video about digital nomads. And now you want to travel the world while working remotely. Another week, and you're thinking about starting your own business. Each focus shift is a reset in the quantum collapse process. You don't continue from where you left off. You start over from zero. It's like digging 10 holes 3 feet deep each, instead of digging one hole 30 feet deep. Where do you find water? In the deep hole, not the shallow ones. But our brain loves novelty, loves possibilities, loves exploring. And every time you see something shiny, something inspiring, something new, the temptation is to jump to the next desire. The problem? Quantum leap requires consistent frequency. Feeling once isn't enough. Visualizing for a day isn't enough. Declaring and forgetting isn't enough. The quantum field needs repetition of the same frequency, the same intention, the same observation, until the density is high enough to collapse. And when you change intention every week, you never reach that density. Everything stays shallow. Everything stays superficial. Everything stays potential. But nothing real. Think about a radio station. If you keep changing frequency every 30 seconds, can you hear any complete song? No. Just noise. Just fragments. Manifestation works the same way. If you keep changing frequency, the field can never deliver the complete song to you. Just fragmented synchronicities. Just almost. Just could have been. And look, I know this is hard, because we live in an era of infinite options. Infinite inspiration. Infinite possibilities. Every day someone's manifesting something incredible. Every day there's a new technique. Every day a new desire emerges. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Quantum success doesn't come from having 1,000 intentions. It comes from having one intention and locking into it until it collapses. Choose, commit, sustain, and all the other possibilities. Release them. Don't repress. Don't deny. But consciously let go. Because while you're trying to manifest everything at once, you're manifesting nothing. 10 different intentions equals 10 processes started, 0 completed, and then 5 years pass. 10 years. 15 years. Manifesting intensely but with no fixed result in any area of life. Not because you don't have power, not because the field doesn't respond, but because you're in permanent superposition, all possible lives existing as potential, none collapsing as real. The fourth error blocking your manifestation is where you place your attention, and this one's the most devastating of all. Because you can have the right intention. But if your attention is in the wrong place, the quantum field will completely ignore your intention. Let me explain the difference. Intention is what you want. It's the desire. It's what you visualize for 5-10 minutes a day. Attention is where you actually focus. It's where your eyes go. It's where your mind stays. It's what you observe 24 hours a day. And here's the secret that changes everything. The quantum field doesn't respond to intention. It responds to attention. Because attention is observation. And observation is what collapses possibilities into reality. So you can want abundance. But if you spend all day observing scarcity, guess what's going to collapse? Scarcity. Every time. Think about your actual routine. You spend 5 minutes in the morning manifesting abundance. You feel the frequency. You visualize. You declare. Then the rest of the day, you open your bank account and see the low balance. You observe. You go to the grocery store and think everything's expensive. You observe. You see someone with a new car and think, I don't have that. You observe. You get a bill to pay and feel tightness in your chest. You observe. You compare your life to those who have more. You observe. 5 minutes manifesting abundance. 23 hours and 55 minutes observing lack. Which observation wins? The dominant one. The one that receives more time, more focus, more energy. And the quantum field is mathematical. It doesn't judge. It doesn't interpret, it just responds. 90% of your attention is on scarcity. You're going to collapse scarcity. Doesn't matter what you want. What matters is what you observe. Another example. Relationships. You want love. You visualize the ideal partner. You feel the connection. But during the day, you see posts of happy couples and feel empty. You observe the loneliness. You look at your phone waiting for a message that doesn't come. You observe the absence. You lie in bed alone and feel the empty space. You observe the lack. You go out to dinner and see only couples around you. You observe that you're alone. 20 hours a day focused on loneliness, 5 minutes focused on love. What do you think the quantum field is going to collapse? Exactly what you observe most. More loneliness. And look, this isn't your fault. Our brain was programmed by evolution to detect threats, to monitor what's missing, to seek danger, survival mechanism. In the jungle, this saved lives. If you didn't pay attention to what was wrong, you died. But in the quantum field, this mechanism works against you. Because monitoring what's missing creates more lack. Observing the problem expands the problem. Focusing on absence collapses more absence. Attention is a quantum magnifying glass. Whatever you put under it, the field amplifies. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you observe most. And most people spend their entire lives observing exactly what they don't want. Observing the empty account. Observing the body they don't like. Observing the job they hate. Observing the relationship they don't have. And then they ask, why can't I manifest? Because manifestation isn't about 5 minutes of visualization. It's about 24 hours of observation. It's about where your attention actually lives. Let me give you a personal example. I knew someone who did all the techniques, affirmations, visualizations, gratitude journals. But every time she opened her wallet, she sighed. Every time she saw a price, she complained. Every time someone mentioned money, she felt tightness. Intention, abundance. Attention, scarcity. All day, every day. Result? Years doing techniques. Zero real change. Not because the techniques don't work, but because attention beats intention. Always. The quantum field is honest. It delivers exactly what you observe most. If you want to change your reality, you need to change your observation. Not occasionally, not just during meditation. Constantly. This means catching your mind every time it goes to what's missing, and redirecting it to what already exists. Every time you catch yourself observing absence, change the lens. Not by denying what's real, but by consciously choosing where to place focus. Because where you place focus is what you're going to collapse. And if your attention is 90% on lack, you can do 1,000 manifestation techniques. The field will ignore your intentions and respond to your dominant observation. Lack. The fifth error blocking your manifestation is the inconsistency between who you say you want to be and who you're actually being. And this one's the deepest of all. Because the quantum field doesn't read your words, doesn't read your affirmations, doesn't read your visualizations, doesn't read your intentions written in your journal. The quantum field reads your energetic identity, and identity isn't what you say. It's who you are in the micro-decisions, in the automatic reactions, in the choices of every moment. Let me explain this in a way that makes sense. You want to be abundant. You visualize wealth. You declare prosperity. You feel the frequency of abundance. But when someone offers you an opportunity, you refuse out of fear. When someone wants to pay you more, you feel uncomfortable. When someone gives you a compliment, you deflect, minimize, reject it. When you need to invest in yourself, you think it's too expensive. You postpone. You avoid. Your actions are communicating an identity, and it's not the identity of someone abundant. It's the identity of someone in scarcity. The quantum field doesn't care what you visualize this morning. It's reading who you're being all day long. And if your actions, your reactions, your choices are of a person in lack, the field will deliver you more lack. Because it responds to the dominant frequency, not the occasional intention. Think about another example. You want to be confident. You want to feel powerful. You want to have presence. But you avoid the camera. You don't speak up in meetings. You apologize for everything. You validate every decision with 10 different people. Your intention is confidence, but your real identity? Insecurity. And the quantum field is reading your identity, not your intention. Every action is a vote. Every decision is a declaration of who you are. And if you act like the old version of you, while waiting for reality to change first so you can change after, you'll wait forever. Because it doesn't work that way. The quantum mechanics are clear. Neville Goddard taught this decades ago. Assume the wish fulfilled. Assume the desire as realized. Not after it happens. Before. Live from the desired identity, not toward it. Choose as the future version would choose. React as the future version would react. Decide as the future version would decide. And then, the field collapses the corresponding reality. But most people do the opposite. They wait for reality to change, to then change their behavior. When I have money, I'll act abundant. When I have the relationship, I'll act confident. When I have the body, I'll feel good. No. Flip that. Be abundant now. And the money comes. Be confident now. And the relationship appears. Feel good now. And the body changes. Because identity is base frequency. It's the signal you transmit 24 hours a day. Intention is just a temporary frequency spike. 5, 10 minutes. The field responds to the frequency you transmit most of the time. And if you transmit scarcity identity for 23 hours and abundance identity for 1 hour, what do you think will collapse? Scarcity. Every time. Let me give you a very practical example. You want to have a successful business. You want to be a high-level entrepreneur. But when a networking opportunity comes, you don't go. Social discomfort. When you need to make a big decision, you postpone. Fear of being wrong. When someone criticizes your work, you crumble. You take it personally. These actions are communicating an identity, and it's not the identity of a successful entrepreneur. It's the identity of someone who doesn't see themselves in that place yet. And as long as you don't see yourself there, the field won't put you there. Because the quantum field mirrors identity, not desire. Look, I know this is hard. Because our brain wants evidence before changing behavior, wants to see the money in the account, before acting abundant, wants to see the relationship working, before acting confident, wants physical proof, before assuming the new identity. But the quantum field works backwards. Change the identity, and the evidence appears. Be first, have later, not the other way around. And this doesn't mean pretending. Doesn't mean forcing, doesn't mean repressing who you are now. It means making conscious choices aligned with who you want to be. It means asking in every small decision, would my future version choose this? Coffee or tea? Which would the abundant version of me choose? Accept the opportunity or refuse out of fear. Which would the confident version of me decide? Invest in myself or save out of insecurity? Which would the prosperous version of me do? Every small choice is an identity vote. And when you accumulate 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 votes aligned with the new identity, the field has no choice. It collapses the corresponding reality. Because you're no longer asking to be that person. You already are that person. And the quantum field only reflects what you already are, not what you want to be, not what you hope to be. What you already are in your daily actions, in your automatic reactions, in your real choices. So stop waiting for reality to change, to then change yourself. Change now. Act from the desired identity, and watch the quantum field do what it always does. Mirror back exactly who you're being. Now you know. The 5 invisible errors that were blocking your manifestation this whole time. Testing with doubt, and reversing the collapse you yourself created. Sharing before anchoring, and dispersing the energy that should become action. Constantly changing intention and keeping everything in superposition. Nothing in reality. Observing lack all day, and collapsing exactly what you don't want. Acting from the old identity, while waiting for reality to change first. These 5 errors are invisible, silent, automatic. You didn't realize you were making them. Nobody taught you to stop. But now you see. And seeing is the first step to correcting. You don't need to fix all 5 at once. Choose one, maybe 2, the ones that resonate most with you, and simply stop doing them. Stop testing. Stop sharing too early. Stop jumping from intention to intention. Stop focusing on lack. Stop acting like who you don't want to be anymore. And observe. Observe how the quantum field responds in a completely different way. Because manifestation never failed. You were just collapsing the wrong reality, creating with one hand, destroying with the other. But now that you know the errors, you can finally stop fighting against yourself and let the field do what it's always done. Respond, collapse, deliver. Let me ask you something. Which of these 5 errors do you make the most? Because I bet at least one of them hit deep. And if you share that in the comments, besides helping you gain real awareness, it might become the topic of a deeper video about that specific error. I read them all. And many videos on this channel were born exactly from that, from something someone shared and I saw needed to be explored better. And look, if you want to understand not just how to stop sabotaging, but how to manifest correctly using the power of conscious observation, there's a video on this channel that will show you exactly how to use the quantum observer to collapse wealth. It's the other half of this equation. This video showed you the errors. That one shows you the right technique. It's definitely worth watching right after this one. And if this video helped you see something you didn't see before, leave a like. It shows the algorithm that this content is valuable. And then more people who are making these same invisible errors will be able to see this too. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and remember, you always had the power. You were just using it in the wrong direction. Now, you know where to aim, and the quantum field is waiting to respond. See you in the next video.